Hello, everybody.
This is State of Kansas versus Taylor Summerland, case number 21 CR 132. Council state their appearances, please.
Please, the court, the state appears by Joanna County Attorney.
And Mr. Sutherland or Summerland appears at the Greenwood County Jail. Let's see, it appears that Mr. Summerland, you were to appear before Judge Ricky. Looks like on December 26th of 2024, he issued a bench warrant for failure to appear and set that at a no bond hold until sees the judge. I'm going to set that over on Judge Ricky's calendar. Do we have a date for Judge Ricky?
Yes, it's set for January 23rd at 3 o'clock.
January 23rd at 3.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Summerland, are you represented by counsel?
Yes, sir. I'm Richard Paul.
All right. I'll continue that appointment of Mr. Paul. Looking at the file, motion to revoke probation and the failure to appear. I'm going to leave this as a no bond hold at this time. Mr. Paul will be advised that you're incarcerated, and January 23rd at 3 before Judge Ricky, and that will be a Zoom hearing. Anything further at this time?
I was curious as to why it would be still stuck at no bond. I did show up to court. I was just like 4 minutes late. I had to drive all the way from Wichita, and I didn't have a ride initially that morning. I walked in and I waited, and I was supposed to be there at 1:15. I got there at 1:19, and they arrested me immediately. And they tried to get the people of the court back on Zoom, but I guess someone from Sedgwick County wasn't able to tune back in. I wanted to, make double sure that they didn't have to come find me. Like, I showed up at court. I was just like 4 minutes late.
All right. I'm not going to modify Judge Ricky's ruling at this time. You can communicate that situation to Mr. Paul. You can go from there.
Okay.
Good afternoon. This is State of Kansas versus Lauren Ray Bueler, case number 24 CR 230. Counsel state their appearance, please.
And please, the court, the state appears by Joanna County Attorney.
And you are Lauren Bueler?
Yes, Your Honorable Judge.
And Mr. Bueler, do you have an attorney at this time?
I do not, sir.
Did you hear me when I went through the rights earlier?
Somewhat. I somewhat understand my rights.
All right. Do you need me to go over any particular one?
I'm not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
All right. With this type of language is not that I'm aware of, or I think I do, gets me a little concerned. Do you want me to go over your rights again or not?
Please go over my rights.
Very well. You are charged with misdemeanors at this time. I'll go through those individually here in a minute, but based on misdemeanors, you do have the right to a trial to the court or to a jury. You have the right to be represented by counsel. At a trial, you would be presumed not guilty. The state would have the burden of proving you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt before you could be found guilty. You would have the right to cross-examine the state's witnesses. You also have the right to call witnesses on your own behalf and utilize the court subpoena power to get witnesses to attend. Additionally, you have the right to testify or not testify as you see fit. If you choose not to testify, that cannot be considered against you in determining if you're guilty or not guilty. Do you understand these rights?
Yes, sir.
And what is your intention concerning an attorney?
I would like to request an OR bond so I can get out and hire one to resume my innocence.
All right. Well, you're asking for an OR bond, but you indicate you can hire an attorney. Do you have the funds to do so?
I'm a CDL holder, Your Honor. I'll have a job by the end of the week. I mean, I just recently lost my last job because of, well, just some issues my employer was going through. So, I mean, it's not hard to pick up another trucking job. I'll have a job and I will acquire counsel.
Okay, so how long has it been since you've been employed?
A couple weeks. I drove my last load a couple weeks ago.
Do you have any money set aside to hire an attorney?
Not at this particular time. I mean, I have an inheritance coming through, but I mean, I'm not going to count on that. I will count on me working for my money. I mean, my CDO has come through every time I've needed it, Your Honor.
Well, you may wish to go ahead and apply for counsel. If you wish to hire your own attorney, you're welcome to do so. However, most attorneys require some money up front when being retained. If you don't have money there and you're not currently employed, I understand what you're saying in regards to you may be able to get employed, but typically it takes a while to get some money together, and there may be bond conditions that make it difficult for you to do that. All right. So I'm going to go over what you're charged with. You're charged in count 1 with criminal use of weapons. That's a Class B non-person misdemeanor. That's punishable up to 6 months in the county jail and a fine not to exceed $1,000. You're charged in count 2 with possession of marijuana or THC. That is a Class B non-person misdemeanor, also punishable up to 6 months in the county jail and a fine not to exceed $1,000. In count 3, you're charged with unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. That's also a Class B non-person misdemeanor, punishable up to 6 months in the county jail and a fine not to exceed $1,000. Count 4 is not having proof of liability insurance. That is a Class B misdemeanor for a first offense that has a mandatory minimum of a $300 fine. It is a B misdemeanor, so the fine can be up to $1,000 and a jail sentence not to exceed 6 months. Count number 5 is an unclassified misdemeanor. That's not carrying your driver's license or not having your driver's license in your possession or producing it when requested. An unclassified misdemeanor is punishable up to 30 days in the county jail and a fine not to exceed $500. You were charged in count 6 with a traffic infraction of failing to stop behind the marking on pavement at a stoplight. That is a traffic infraction, does not have a jail sentence. It does have a scheduled fine, which should be less than $150. I don't have the amount in front of me. I want to say it's a $45 fine, but that it could be as high as $150. You understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir.
All right. And as you are wishing to speak with an attorney, I'm going to set this for another hearing. We'll call it a status or control hearing. We'll give you approximately 30 days to do that. Missy, do you have a proposed date for that hearing?
Yes, and these are all misdemeanors, correct?
Correct.
Let's do it January 28th at 3:30.
January 28th at 3:30.
Yes.
I will hear statements now in regards to bond. I'll begin with the state and then Mr. Bueler, I'll give you an opportunity to address the court as well. Ms. JoAnn?
Judge, Mr. Bueller's from Missouri, so I prefer a cash surety bond to issue. That way, if there's a problem, it can be brought back. I don't know what it's currently set at. I haven't been told yet. I do know they were arrested on Christmas Day, which is now 5 days ago. So I was looking for about $7,500 cash or professional surety.
Mr. Bueller,
Yes, sir.
any statements you'd like to make concerning bond?
That was $7,500.
That's what she's requested. I haven't made a determination yet.
Okay. I mean, I'd like an OR if I could, but I guess, well, whatever you decide, Your Honor.
Well, whereabouts in Missouri do you live?
I live in El Dorado Springs, Missouri.
That's pretty close to the Kansas border, if I recall.
Yes, sir. About, I guess, 40 miles, 50 miles from Fort Scott.
Do you have any ties to the state of Kansas? Do you have relatives in Greenwood County, lived there in the past, anything like that?
I just come from, if I can remember the name, I have a sister, half sister that lives I just come there further west, just south of Wichita. I can't remember the exact town she lives in, but so I have family in Holton, Kansas. My dad just passed in Holton, Kansas. So yes, I do have ties.
All right. Are you on any sort of supervision,
No, sir.
probation or parole at this time?
No, sir.
Does the defendant have any prior felonies, counsel?
Judge, I don't have a triple I with me. I'm at Elk and this is a Greenwood case.
Okay. Mr. Bueller, do you have any prior felonies on your history?
No, sir. I am not a convicted felon.
All right. I'm going to set bond at 2,500 cash or surety. Condition of the bond is that he either be in Missouri or in Kansas, and you will need to, that'll be a Zoom hearing on January 28th at 3:30. I would recommend that you go ahead and make your application for an attorney today. They should be able to have that, fill that out there. That way, if you wish to retain an attorney, you certainly may do so. But you should be represented by counsel on January 28th at that hearing and consult with them in advance of the hearing.
Your Honor, I have something.
Yes,
Is there co-defendants in this case?
Yes,
Ms. Gillette?
yes.
Okay, so bond condition, no contact with co-defendants.
Well, I hadn't put that down yet. What's the state's position?
Generally, that's a standard condition of probation or a bond. I don't know how he's related to Ms. Spencer and Ms. Carroll. I don't know if they're related, if he's dating the other one from El Dorado or if they're together. El Dorado Springs, Missouri is where he and Miss Spencer live. Miss Carroll lives in Emporia, so.
All right. Mr. Bueller, do you wish to address that issue?
I don't see it. What would you like to hear?
I'm just giving you an opportunity to address it if you wish to. If you don't, that's fine.
I won't have any contact with them. I mean, if that's what the stipulations are, then that's what will happen.
All right. I'm not going to make that a condition based upon my reading of the affidavit. I don't, it seems like individuals already made their various statements, so I'm not going to add that as a condition. There's no allegations of violence against the others. So I'm not going to require that. So your next court date is January 28th at 3:30. It's a $2,500 cash or surety bond. And that's that. So
Okay, I'm in court. Can I call you back?
this, you can be remanded until he makes bond.
No, he's gonna be here.
Okay. All right, next matter. Next
Hi,
case.
Mike.
Does that mean I can?
All right, who do we have here now?
Joanna Carson.
All right, Ms. Carson, this is State of Kansas versus Joanna Carson, case number 24 CR 14. Would counsel state their appearances, please?
May it please the court, the state appears by Gillette County Attorney.
All right, Ms. Carson, you were arrested on a bench warrant from Judge Ricky, failure to appear. Looks like you had been convicted of a felony offense on October 31st. You were set for sentencing. There's also the file reflects that there's you had not been in compliance with contacting court services as directed. Looks like Judge Ricky put this as a no bond hold. I'm going to leave that in effect. You are represented by Mr. Christopher Ambrose, is that correct?
Yes. And I did get a hold of, I was supposed to be in, I had, supposed to take my assessments at Elmakers. I got a hold of, not Ed, but, the guy in El Dorado. Not Ed, but it was one of his guys that he works with. And I told them that I was supposed to, I had an appointment to take my assessment. It was 8 o'clock this morning at Elmakers DECA in Pittsburgh, Kansas. It was for they get you in for assessment and go straight into treatment.
Well, you were supposed to appear in court on December the 26th.
Yeah, I got there like 20 minutes late because I didn't have I didn't realize my driver license was suspended and I had to find a driver.
Well, Judge Ricky had, it's his case. He said a no bond hold. I'm going to continue that. Missy, do you have a hearing date for us, please?
Yes, January 23rd at 2 o'clock.
January 23rd at 2.
Yes.
Mr. Ambrose will be advised of that hearing date. And then that for sentencing as well. Seems like sentencing is the next thing that will be done there.
That was 26.
Very well. Counsel, anything further on this matter? Hearing nothing further, we are adjourned on Ms. Carson. She can be remanded back to the sheriff's office.
So was that January 23rd? Is that her new sentencing date?
Yes, at 2.
Okay. I also have a question before we get off here, Judge. Back on the Bueler, I just need the court case number for the Bueler case.
24 CR 230.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yeah, Ms.
And that's-
Spencer there.
I'm sorry, what?
We need Christina Spencer.
She bonded out.
Did you set the court date with Judge Ricky? Is it also January 23rd?
That's the date that Missy gave me. I assume she cleared it with his calendar.
Is it 3:30?
At 3 on the earlier one, and then 2 o'clock on Ms. Carson.
Judge, the other two females that I had, they bonded out.
Do they have another court date?
Yeah, their court date would have gotten pushed back about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, Missy, do you have those court dates?
I don't until I get the bond sheets.
Okay. Very well. So any further first appearances or other hearings you need me to conduct at this time?
I don't believe so, Judge. I believe that's all.
Missy?
Yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you. And I believe that completes the Elk County as well. So I am adjourned.
I love you guys. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.